Hey all, Jason Puckhead Diebold here, and a lot of people have asked about the new diet that I'm following, and especially the juicing that I'm doing. A lot of people are intimidated by juices and juicing, and there's a lot of different conflicting information out there on it. So I just figured that since I'm getting a lot of questions, the easiest thing for me to do is just to go ahead and do a video as I make my daily juice. This is the Omega model number 8006. It's really nice because it's chrome, it looks good. I leave this out on the counter all the time. We have a very small kitchen, so to do so is kind of a commitment. But it's a good looking machine that you don't mind leaving out, and it can be a bit of a conversation piece. I literally own at least 6 different juicers, everywhere from the $50 Jack LaLanne all the way up to the $2,500 is it Norwalk juicer, which is a 2-part juicer, which has the best, by far the best juice around. But by the time you use it and clean it, it's like such a hassle that I don't use it because it's such a hassle. The Omega is a great balance between getting great quality juice and being simple to use and very easy to clean up and maintain. In fact, this is my setup as I walk into the kitchen every day. It's like I've got my juicer set up over here. A lot of times my fiance is very neat and clean. In particular, she'll throw a towel on top of it, so I just took the towel off. And then all the products that I need for the juicer are right over here. So like this is the back part of the juicer. You've got an auger that fits in there. In front of the auger, there's the small screen portion that goes on there, and then kind of a holder at the end. And that's the whole assembly of the juicer that you need to do on a daily basis. So again, super easy. Now I just take this auger component, put it inside the juicer, hit close, and now all I gotta do is turn this thing on, and it's ready to go. Now when you buy any juicer, it comes with all kinds of different attachments to catch the juice and to catch the shavings. I just use a simple cup that fits under the juicer fine. It's just kind of a juice glass, just like the name sounds. And then I use I think this is a bucket that came with this particular juicer to catch the shavings. But the other option is we just grab a bowl, right? A bowl will fit and work right there. So when this guy's dirty, I just use a bowl. Not a big deal. All right, so everybody especially is always curious about, not only the juicer that I'm using, but the individual ingredients that I use. I didn't set up for this. This is just my daily routine, and I think you'll see that it's not hard to do. So the only thing I really have to cut up to fit in the juicer are the lemon and the cucumber. So I typically kind of do that first, get it out of the way. Only going with about half a cucumber a day, half a lemon. So real simple and easy to cut those two guys out. And then I'll take this half of the cucumber and this half of the lemon, and I set that aside. I'll use that, save it in a Ziploc bag, and I'll use that tomorrow as the veggies I need to do the juicer tomorrow. But then I cut it up so it's small enough to fit in this opening. That's your only requirement. But as long as it's small enough to fit in that opening, you basically just throw it in your juicer and let it go through. Skins are on there, the seeds are in there, everything, because it's going to sort those out. You're not going to be eating any seeds, but there is nutrition in those seeds that's good for you, so by all means throw it in. And that's really the whole process. The only other weird thing that we do for this is the juice that I'm doing daily calls out Cayenne Pepper, and it's just a pinch, and I like cayenne, so I add a little bit more than a pinch, and a pinch of sea salts. And my girlfriend's from Hawaii, so she gets this fresh Hawaiian sea salt. Good stuff. And then the only other thing is apple cider vinegar, kind of weird ingredient. And you could take all 3 of those ingredients and put it right into your juice. I choose to go through the juicer and just kind of clean up the juicer while I'm doing it. But those are kind of the only weird 3 ingredients. And the only other thing I do have to cut, I kind of forgot this, is turmeric. You know, you want about 1 inch, about as much as the first chunk of your thumb of turmeric, and also ginger. Got a lot of ginger here, so I gotta find a good chunk and just cut that off. I don't have to cut that up because it's already small enough to fit in my juicer. A weird thing for me is I've learned all the incredible health benefits of turmeric. So we have a friend that makes turmeric paste for us. You know, gets raw turmeric and mixes it up. And this has been known to do so many good things, and also just the power of intention. You know, whatever you believe will work. I used to hate eating this, but now I take like a teaspoon every day and I eat it. And I always remember to do it when I'm putting the turmeric in my juice, and kind of gives me a little something to chew on while I'm making the juice. So there goes my turmeric for the day. I can give you a link to a recipe for this, but not something you sell. It's just something that you make, and we've got a friend that makes it for us. Right now we've got the turmeric and the ginger in there, so go ahead and turn that on. Now people will say this is the bad thing about the omega, is that you have to sometimes push the ingredients into this, but the space in that auger is really big in the back, so it typically doesn't take much effort. You know, I did all that with my less dominant hand. One of the first products I use here is the collard greens. When I can't find collard greens, I'll use just not kale. What's the other one? Oh gosh, I can't think of it now. Chard, C-H-A-R-D. So if I can't find collard greens, I'll use chard, but this time they had the collard greens. And every ingredient you see me use here is organic, whole grown, pasture raised products. You know, when you're doing juices, it's to help you get rid of toxins and clean up your diet. So the last thing you want to do is be using non-organic foods that might be full of pesticides and chemicals and Lord knows what else. I would encourage you to go out to your local co-op. You know, you might have to do some research online to figure out where your local co-op is, but you know, most grocery stores now have a organic section, and I use the organic section at the grocery store as much as I need to. There's some products, actually like this kale. This is a Tuscan Kale, which is a little bit easier to get in the juicer than the other type of kale, and I get that at the grocery store. But any product that I can find at my local co-op is the one that I choose, because when I do that, I know I'm supporting a local farmer, you know, maybe as far as 100 miles away, who's growing that natural ingredient and brings it out here, and they're not using all the pesticides, and it has to be organically checked and certified. You know, one way you can do that is when you're looking at ingredients, it needs to have this USDA organic symbol on it. So like that's what I look for. And when I go to a Whole Foods, like it's real people that actually care about you. They always have like a cool coffee shop or something. So I'm really, really behind supporting your local co-op. So check that out, see if you have one. The next one is parsley. You know, and this is why juicing is so good. So I want to get all the nutrition and vitamins and minerals that comes from parsley, and I hate eating parsley. You know, I would never add this to a salad. My grandma used to eat it at the dinner table when it comes on your plate because it's good for you. But it's just I am not going to eat it because I don't enjoy the taste. And all the extra fiber. But when I put it through the juicer here, I get the nutrition of the parsley, and I didn't have to go through the torture of actually eating it. Next is cilantro. Cilantro I do love and eat. In fact, if you've ever been around any Spanish family, you know how they use cilantro in many of their foods and all their salsa. Just the smell of cilantro is good. So I would like cilantro, but you know, I'm not going to eat all these stems and everything else. But again, that brings up a good point here about juicing. One of the main points and advantages of a juicing is we want to get all this nutrition from all these vegetables. And vegetables have a lot of fiber. What do you mean by fiber, Jason? Well, fiber is all the stuff that's coming out of the end. And this has to go through your body. And as this goes through your body, it slows down the absorption process into your bloodstream. So for low sugar foods that have all this great nutrition in it, you want to get that nutrition into your body as quickly as possible. So veggies are awesome to juice because it does that. It gets everything going. It's like a an IV drip right into your bloodstream of all that nutrition. On the other hand, sugars, stuff like fruit. Now you want that extra fiber to slow down the absorption process, because when you're taking in all this sugar, it's going to have negative effects on your bloodstream and on your hormone levels. So you want to slow that process down. So people always ask the question, what's the difference between juicing and blending? Juicing is mostly for vegetables. You want to get that nutrition in as quickly as possible in your bloodstream. Blending is for other stuff like fruits, where you want the added fiber in your diet still. So that's kind of where I break off the limit for myself. But I include this juice with my breakfast every morning. It's just this juice and organic pasture-raised eggs. All right, so next we've got our celery. I just use 2 stalks of celery. Again, this is celery I get from the local co-op. Love my peoples there. And when you get celery, a lot of times it's chopped off into celery hearts. Well, it's basically just giving you that much of the celery, So I want the extra nutrition here. Now this celery is a little bit dirty. I will go ahead and clean that off. I don't want a lot of extra dirt in my food. And I kind of do the juiciest vegetables last. So now it's just the lemon and the cucumbers that are left. It's funny, you can watch the juice cup go up as you put in the juicy vegetables. That raises a lot of liquid into your glass with these juicier vegetables. And then when you put in something like the kale or the chard, it barely goes up at all. But when it does go up in juice, that's the great nutrition that's coming from all those leafy green vegetables. Okay, well that's basically it. That's all the ingredients I have here. Now if you're interested in this particular juicer, the Omega, let me show you how to clean up. First of all, I'm just going to take this fiber, and this would be great for your garden. All this extra nutrition here is great to put on the vegetables that you're making. Now I don't have a garden, so a lot of times I end up throwing this away, which is horrible. I'm sure you can look online and find better things to do with this, because this is whole veggies that you just purchased, all organic. But I don't have something to do with that. I throw that away. Now to clean the juicer here, I just kind of take off this auger, kind of swap it around a little bit. You see sometimes you get some extra juice comes out of the auger. And literally it's only those 4 components. I have the push rod that I need to clean, the cap end, the filter, the auger, and then the housing. That's all there is to it. So I can go ahead and clean that off real quick. In fact, a lot of times I'll only use the good water that comes out of our filter here that actually is pH balanced and everything else. Now the only thing that I would say is you'll need is I do use like this, it's a nylon brush to clean out this filter. If you didn't have the nylon brush to clean up this filter, this part would be hard, because there's this little teeny screen on the end of this filter here, and you want to make sure you're getting that pretty clean. Super hard to do on the inside without a cleaning brush like this, but pretty easy to do on the outside. You just rinse it off. So I just want to show you what the little holes in that filter look like. And this is one part you want to make sure that you clean pretty well every day. My brush again, kind of clean out the inside of the housing, clean out the input tube, clean out the juicing tube at the bottom. That one's a tight fit. Sometimes it's hard to fit in there. That is one of the big reasons I prefer the Omega juicer. You saw everything it took to set up there. You saw, how hard it was to cut things up, and a lot of times I roll like the collard greens so it fits in there better, but it's not crazy hard to use. And the quality of juice that you can see here is very good. One way to tell the quality of juice is based upon how consistent it is, and it's not going to be completely consistent because we did different vegetables at different times. But if I was to shake this up and put it in a bigger glass, you'll see a nice good consistency. When you see a strong separation of water versus like dense nutrition, then and typically this comes with the spinner type juicers, then you know it's like, well, there's a lot that I wasn't getting if you're not getting that thick, frothy type stuff. And also there's a lot of science that says when a juice goes above a certain temperature, all the live enzymes are killed. And then you see with our juicer, this is a very low RPM type machine as opposed to like a centrifuge type juicer. So another reason why I really prefer the Omega. And again, this is my second Omega. I also have the Omega Vert. The Omega Vert is kind of just as good. The thing I'm going to say there is it's a little bit harder to clean. So I had this juicer I bought here. I had a Omega Vert at home in California. And I switched to the Vert when I got it. And then we recently went on a trip. I took this with me because I'm not going to miss my juice every day. And I'm like, you know, this is so much easier to clean and it's not much harder to fit the ingredients into. So like this is my go-to now. Like I really really like that one. And I've tried everything under the sun. So it's not like some brand new guy that just started juicing. Like this, I've got a lot of experience with it. Literally done every juicer on the market. You can send me a personal question and ask me if I've tried a juicer and why I prefer this one over it, and I'll tell you because I've tried them all, quite literally. You know, and I don't want to make this about me and my results. This is really just about the juicing, and it will be part of my class and curriculum that I teach. But the truth is that in the last 2 months, in all of January and February, I've lost 20 pounds. These jeans I wouldn't even wear before because they were too tight. And I don't know if you can see it now, but it's like quite loose on me now. And it's like I'm getting this back, you know. And for me, like this means a big deal to me. That might not be why you're doing your fitness thing. But to have nice loose fitting jeans, or I need a belt again, to have the 6-pack coming, and to eat, you know, this kind of great food where I'm not hungry all day long and I don't get cravings. So that's amazing for me. And if there isn't ever a time between meals, and I'm basically only having 3 meals a day, you know, I have a protein shake at night, and I have like a Shakeology in the afternoon, if and when I need it. But the worst problem with this new regime that I'm doing is that, you know, I forget meals, or I'm so busy that I just don't even eat, which is kind of a good problem because now you're even losing more weight. The trick to this diet is working on balancing your hormone levels. You know, when your hormones are like this, your body's all out of whack. You know, it has to do with glycogen production and insulin response and the glycemic index of the foods that you're eating, which is all a lot of nonsense that you really don't need to know. But I'm not counting calories. And when my hormones are balanced, that's when you can use stored body fat to run as energy. So it's like, it might be 5 meals sometimes 5 hours since my last meal, and I don't feel hungry because I'm running off stored energy. My hormone levels are all in check, and so I skip a meal and I actually just end up losing more weight. And one of the great things for me is I don't have to sit there and count calories, because I don't know about you, but it's like doing all these little measurements. You know, they got these measurement cups out. Drives me crazy. But that's cool because you don't have to count calories. And then actually counting calories drives me crazy. You know, with this diet, the only thing that we really do is we measure our proteins. But, you know, I've got a scale, and we just recently changed the counters around a little bit. In fact, I did a video on these. These shelves are great. You can get them at Home Depot, like $50. It creates a lot more storage room for you. But the only tool I have to use is this to measure the weight of my proteins. And you use it once or twice, and then you know the size, and then you don't really even need to use it anymore. That's why I wasn't even sure if that was there. The most important thing that I want to talk about is, like, I've been doing this career now for 9 years, and it's fitness, it's working out, it's eating right, and I've been successful at it. You know, gosh, I've made $3 million in the last 9 years, so that's pretty successful. But the truth is I've never felt truly confident that I could control my own body the way that I wanted it to be and to look, and give nutrition advice to other people. Like, I've got the fitness thing down. I know what it takes. I know what my body works best for. I don't even jump around with a lot of the new gimmicks that come up, you know, even by my company at this point. I know what works for me, and that's what I stick to. If I want to get big, I do more body beast stuff. If I want to lean out, I go back to the P90X resistance exercises. Like, I know what works for me. But I've truly never felt comfortable coaching on nutrition because there's so many different things out there and I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. And when you start losing weight, then what do you have to do to change it back? You know, there's tons of ways to lose weight out there, but if it's not a maintainable lifestyle, you know, what are you going to do with that beyond that? So this is honestly the first time in my life where I'm like, dude, this is what it is. This is what works, and this will work forever. But I come out here, I bust out my juice in 5 minutes every day, and it's one of my favorite parts of my day because it's like you're touching real vegetables and you're cleaning them yourself and you're getting this pure nutrition. You know, I haven't even taken a sip of this yet, but you know, I want you to see the taste and the response that I get. It's good, and I can literally say now it's good. The response you'll get from all people, and probably even yourself when you try juicing the first time, is you'll take it and you'll be like, that's not bad. Well, I've done a lot of personal development, and let's try to get out of the habit of saying what things are not. If something is not bad, what is it actually? Well, it's good. But it's like your mind looks at this green cup of juice and you're like, oh, it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be bad. It's not bad, and that's fine, you know, but going forward in life, do you want to be called, well, let's go to love. Do you want to be called not a bad lover, or do you want to be called a good lover? So just think about what some of these somatics can do in your life, and you know, every aspect of my life right now is at 10. I think happiness in life comes from, you know, harmony and balance, and as your spirituality ties to your fitness, and as your relationships tie to your wealth, and as all four things can merge together. So honestly, this is the first time in my life where I can say I'm a 10. My fitness and health feels great. My relationship feels great. I have a great relationship with my own spiritual connection and higher self, and my career is killing. You know, maybe those are 9, but whatever. I'm getting A's in every course of every aspect of my life, and really what I want to do is I want a way to give the same feeling to everybody else. You know, if you're in a hailstorm, right? And it's just hailing all over and it's hurting and it's painful and you see everybody out running around doing it, and all of a sudden you find a door, you open the door and the hail on the other side of the door is gone. Like, first of all, you're just going to feel relieved and happy to be out of the hail. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to open the door and say, hey, people over here, like, I found the solution to getting out of the hail, and it's go through the door. I mean, maybe that's a cheesy, corny metaphor, an example, but the truth is that's where I'm at right now in my life. And I mean, it's taken me 42 years to get to that point where I can honestly and wholeheartedly and be in alignment with saying, I'm there. Like, these things are going great for me in my life. My only next mission is to leave a legacy and help other people out of the shitstorm. So that's why I do this. That's why when, you know, I think about this video going out and maybe affecting hundreds and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, like, I can totally be relaxed, drink my juice, and not be worried or stumble over my words here, because I'm totally in alignment with this message and this lifestyle, and I know I've got a lot of things that can help a lot of people. And the most exciting thing about that for me is not, you know, selling more fitness programs. It's the messages that come back from the people like, dude, for the first time now, I have a control on my health and my weight, and I felt that I've never had that before. That's what I want, to get that kind of appreciation and gratitude back. So that's why I do this. I want you to walk through that door and get out of the hailstorm. This has done it for me. I know it can do it for you, so please reach out. I hope you enjoyed the juicing video, and I hope you're ready for the next part of the challenge. Cheers to health.